Hi everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the Locker Room right here on Top 6 Fan TV, an action-packed show lined up for you. We have Manzi from Manchester United, Simon from the Gunners, Armory, and as you can see, very excited about the results of the weekend, and we will get into the action right after this. Great, fantastic. Thank you for joining us. And if you've just joined for the first time, feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, most importantly, and the notification bell if you want to receive some notifications or alerts about our new shows or new content coming on. And I'll hand over to Manzi to say what's up to his United people.
Thank you, Mathew, for having me. I'm glad to be back. Not very happy to come at this point, but thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to the show.
Brilliant. I don't know why Manchester United fans are all wearing black. Last week we had Nate on the show. He was wearing black. But guys, it's not all doom and gloom. Things will get better. I know it's a bit depressing right now.
It's the hope that kills you.
It's the hope that kills you, I tell you. Simon, on the other hand, is straight and fresh from enjoying some faggy time action at the Emirates from the Arsenal faithful. Simon, you can say what's up to your people.
Hello, my fellow Arsenal fans. This is Simon Makomi. I'm so excited for the show, and I'll be glad to. I'm glad for everyone who's watching and who has tuned in. Let us subscribe. It's going to be a good show.
Brilliant, and I'll do a free shout out here for Simon on our show. Simon, as you can see in the background, collects and actually sells some great football jerseys, not only Arsenal, but some nice retro jerseys, as you can see, from Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, you name it. He has some great stuff there. So feel free to reach out, or I'll actually just slot his number right there. Check his number out in the description, right at the bottom, and you'll be able to catch up with him, and hopefully, he can hook you up with some great stuff. For my fellow chaps, my fellow Top 6 Fan TV content contributors, I never want to see you on the show without a jersey. Again, buy a spare jersey and, at least have it. Manzi, stop wearing black. You guys have some funny zebra jersey going on from last season. Wear that or something.
I'll start wearing jerseys next season.
Fantastic. And we'll get into the action from, not only the weekend, but midweek, and then, touch base with a few of the results. And, we kick it off with the action at the top four, the race for the top four. And we'll kick off the action with Spurs and a review of their results, losing 1-0 to Burnley midweek in a defeat that actually shook quite a few of the Spurs faithful, especially coming off that fantastic victory against Manchester City away at the Etihad, and losing ground. And Antonio Conte very emotional after that, and coming close to sucking himself live on TV. It was very shocking. But maybe that was the emotion speaking. He's not used to losing. That was like his fourth loss in 5 games. And you could see it was taking a toll on him. But, they bounced back at the weekend and beat Leeds 4-0. That game resulting in the sacking of call him historical. Let me call him a historical Marcelo Bielsa, much respected and revered around Europe, but his time coming to an end. Goals coming from Matt Doherty, Dejan Kulusevski, Harry Kane, and of course, none other than Heung-min Son. Putting in the goals, but that defeat and victory halting the momentum of Spurs, and currently they sit 7th with 25 games played on 42 points, and that is 3 points behind Arsenal, having played a game more. So I don't know, Manzi. Before we get, obviously we know what Simon's take is going to be, but I know we'll bring him in as an Arsenal boy. But Manzi, what are your thoughts around that? How does this impact the race for top four? Does it improve Man United's chances? And we will get to Man United in a bit. Or does Arsenal now, gain the advantage? Who benefits the most from Spurs wobbles?
Thank you for having me again. Tottenham, their wobbles, I think, benefit Arsenal and maybe West Ham. Although I think with those games in hand, it's mainly Arsenal, because West Ham has played the same number of games as United, 27 each, and so it's only Arsenal that has played less games than United, West Ham, and Spurs. So if nowadays game in hand is is not a sure win, a game in hand is more like a loss or a draw. So back in the day, game in hand was like you just count the points. So like 2 games in hand, 6 points. But now, man, yeah,
I'm told guys at Old Trafford call it draw in hand.
Man, Mathew. Anyway, for United it's a draw in hand. I laugh, but it's the truth. So I think it benefits Arsenal the most. I think Tottenham will still finish top 6. I think they'll still be on this show next season. But United might actually take Tottenham's 7th spot.
Yeah. Fantastic. Simon, your thoughts on that? Spurs wobbles? Is it temporary? Do you think they'll bounce back? I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans fear that they do have a very good coach in Antonio Conte, and you could see what he did in the first. I mean, the guy didn't lose a game for like 9 games. His first EPL run of 9 games, he didn't lose any game for Spurs. So there is something in there. But do you think they can rise from the ashes as they did against Leeds and keep it consistent this time?
I doubt. Leeds has been a very struggling team recently. You saw they're coming back from a heavy defeat from City. Then they ended up on a heavy defeat to Spurs. But Spurs is very inconsistent. If you looked at Conte's post-match conference after that Burnley loss, it's like he went on sounding like the coaches have come, they've gone, but the players are still the same. So I think the players don't have that winning mentality, that hunger, that zeal. All the best they can do is push. Then they're just bottlers. So I think this wobble helps us as Arsenal fans. Though I'm only worried about the games in hand. The games in hand are great. You may be looking at points, and you've seen United. It was actually fast Spurs. They lost all their games in hand. Then United came and drew all their games in hand. I was actually worried about Spurs. Their form was too good. Like they came on winning. Now when they got the games in hand and I thought they were going to push and take us away, they just fumbled. So if we were to go to the Spurs wobble, I think it's helping Arsenal the most. Then United, they're not clinical. They're not clinical. I don't know what's the problem, but as the gear said, I think they had a spell like cast. I don't know.
Hey man, by the way, I don't know whether David here saw some banana fibers in the United dressing room, and I was not sure about what's this stuff, man. I don't know what was going on, but
I think you were talking a lot to Bailey. So Bailey told him, man, in Africa, if such things happen, it must be a curse.
And I'll tell you. But United feeling the pressure there, and we will go into United's issues. But Marcelo Bielsa there, as you can see, bidding farewell to Leeds. So probably an end for the entertaining football that Leeds used to play by them. Very expansive, very attacking. 90 minutes. You always knew there was a goal in them. The only challenge was they always left themselves exposed, and it has finally cost Marcelo Bielsa his job. But great work for them. Of course, bring them in from the Championship. 2 years then in the Championship, and then finally bring them up to the Premier League. So it was a respectful dismissal in there, but Leeds have to carry on from that. Otherwise, they're being dragged into the relegation battle. And moving on to our man, I mean, Manchester United or Draw United, as some people have started calling them. Manzi, I don't know what's going on, but we are having less of few from Cristiano Ronaldo and more of this reaction at Old Trafford. What's happening? What's going on? Dissect this result for us as well as the previous few draws. And, are you guys losing momentum in the top 4 race?
I don't think we'll finish in top 4. And I remember we discussed this at the beginning of the season or at the beginning of the transfer window. There's an episode we did, and I think it was the beginning of the season. And Mathew, like, look at United's squad, look at these names, and we look good on paper, man. You laid out our squad.
Man.
Every position had like 3 guys who were too bad. But
Man.
I told you that I have no faith in names. I had only faith in actions. Like, you can have the best squad, but if the rubber meets the road, guys are not performing. When push comes to shove, they are very.
Manzi, let me correct. Sorry for interjecting, but I remember you had such strong faith in Ole at the beginning. So please don't leave that out. You always are Ole in.
Yeah. I had strong faith in Ole, and my problem was that Ole was not performing, but I don't think he should have been fired because now we have Ragnick, and there's no difference. The difference is actually there's no difference.
The difference is depressing. It's not getting pressing, it's depressing.
Yeah, it's not getting pressing, it's depressing. So I think he was fired prematurely. Of course, we were losing, but it's better to lose 2 games and recover, come back and win like 4-5 instead of drawing 6-7. We've drawn now 8 games. Of course, some of them were always draws, but we are drawing too many times. And we a friend of mine in the sports group calls us first half United. Like first half we are. Second half, man, I think when you guys go for. So is the manager not saying anything in the halftime break? Do they get tired? If they get because second half they come back just watching. They're not playing, they're just watching the other team. So if we score first, just be sure that we're going to concede, and the game will end 1-1. If we don't score, then it will end 0-0. So it's very sad. There was that game where we beat, I think it was, which team did we beat 4-2?
When was that? Like, well, that must have been like 2 seasons ago, you guys.
No, it was like 2 games ago. And guys were like, yes, United is back. But really, it was Leeds, I think. I think it was Leeds, and it was just poor.
Yeah, it was actually Leeds. So 4-2,
Leeds. So you
can't good stuff there.
Yeah, you can't celebrate. And they scored 2 goals like in 1.5 minutes. So if Leeds could get 2 goals and yet they've been very poor, it just shows you that we're at a different level. Like Chelsea and Liverpool are equal. City is above them. Then you have like Arsenal, West Ham, Tottenham. Then like 5 places later, you have United.
So that's a damning.
Just hope.
That's a damning verdict.
I don't know if it's because. Me actually blame the players. I blame the players. The players are not serious.
Simon, let me pull you into this United discussion. Arsenal fans, of course, no one knows. You cannot discard United. No one knows as much about that as Arsenal fans because over the years we've had this very interesting rivalry, and not that we have conceded so much of faggy time goals. Actually, I think there are very few against Arsenal. It's mostly against a smaller team. But I mean, United do have the quality, as Manzi called out in the beginning. At the beginning of the season, I mean, you could look at their team on paper and you compare it to Arsenal's team on paper. I mean, it's even worse now, because we have like Lacazette and Nketiah for strikers, and they have, despite the loss of Mason Greenwood, they still have a very formidable strike force. So, I don't know. Do you agree with Manzi's assessment of the situation? Do you see United stabilizing and putting up a surprise, 9-10 game run to just kill that discussion around top 4 and put Arsenal, Spurs, and West Ham in their place? Or do you think they are very fragile?
I think right now the first thing I'll talk about United is the coach and the system. I don't think they're working. They're not gelling at all. You look at the players, they get lost. You look at Pogba, you look at Fernandes, the guys were supposed to do the magic. They reach a point and they break, they get lost. I don't know. This system didn't favor United. If it was a team like Arsenal getting pressing, I think it would have favored it so much. We're used to a United team that's counter-attacking all the time.
Counter-attacking,
Counter-attacking. Now, when the gegenpress came in, you saw they're working too much. First half, they would work too much. But by the time they come back second half, it's not that they're clueless, but I think they just get tired. And the system wasn't favoring. When you try to twitch it up from that 4-2-2-2 to 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1.
4-1-1-1-1-1.
There was some good change. There was some good change. Now, I don't know what's happening. Ronaldo is no longer clinical. He's wasting a lot of chances. Then, as an Arsenal fan, I like saying this. I like saying United miserable, but no, you guys need to sell Maguire.
I know, man. Let them pass for like 2 months.
2 million. You need to sell Maguire. one of the biggest.
But what a loss that would be, man.
No,
80 million.
I think that's the first mistake they made. Making him captain, I think, kind of put a lot of responsibilities on his shoulders. So I think he stopped focusing more on how he plays, and he's focusing more on leadership. Because I've never seen Maguire anywhere being a leader. No,
but I agree with Simon. Maguire has to go. If he's not to go, then he shouldn't play. Like, he can be on the bench. Like I hear
you can't
saying
bench.
that who will play in Maguire's place? You'd rather have.
We can give you Granit Xhaka. You know, Arsenal, we can give you Granit Xhaka. I mean, we're happy to.
Do you know, Mathew? You'd rather have 10 players than have 11 with Maguire on the pitch because he's a liability.
But he's an 80 million pound defender, and this liability.
He was
a big liability.
Well, okay, overpriced, but still above 50 million. I mean, Ben White was 50 million, and a few others. Gabriel is even better than him at 35 million. Yeah. But I know. I mean, not that I want to compare to the Arsenal fans, but you can even see Silva at Chelsea, the 80-year-old guy. We are talking about Cristiano Ronaldo being too old to cut it. This guy is in defense. He has come from the French league. We're all thinking, the Premier League, we have the fastest players. It's so physical. Yeah. That guy's going to be thrown to shreds. But the guy, he plays, as we used to call it back in the day, mature football.
When you're mature, man. Did you see his penalty yesterday? Mature penalty.
My friend. Hey. Mature. The man, So I think ideally it would be difficult for United to bench him. I think it would be easier for them to sell him.
Then let someone injure him. Let one of his teammates, I don't know, injure him.
No, we don't condone violence on this show. But
my view is they should first strip Maguire captaincy. Because if they strip him captaincy, he's going to wake up. I feel like that burden of being a captain, he wasn't ready at all. Now, as soon as they made him captain, you saw his football detail. Okay, he was ready.
He just didn't know how to play football. I don't know whether if you strip his captaincy, it will improve him. Is this not a footballer? He should be playing like netball.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Uganda, we call that busungu. That is intense anger against your dear beloved. And Manzi is really not happy with his United team at the moment, and you can see. But I think
take responsibility. Those 11 players, keep blaming
23 players. Yeah,
we change managers, but never change players. Then. It was Roy Keane who used to say those players will throw Ole under the bus, and we laughed. They threw Mourinho under the bus. They threw Ole under the bus. Throwing Ragnick under the bus. So
my friend, Ole was at the wheel, and they still threw him under the bus. It was great. Anyway, moving on from United, ladies and gentlemen, to our beloved Gunners, the Arsenal pulling out fantastic victory midweek last week against Wolves. There's a bit of, I would not say rivalry, but there was a bit of, the Wolves guys were taunting the Arsenal after the last win at Molineux, saying these guys are celebrating like as if they've won the title, and that just shows how far they have come and declined in stature. And eventually that came good because Spurs and United dropped points, so that made sense. And we came back, and after a Navi start, Gabriel giving the ball away in defense, and He Chan, I forget his name, but the South Korean, He Chan Hwang. Yeah, I was going to say Hwang Sung, but He Chan Hwang coming in to give Wolves a lead. and they basically weathered quite a bit of pressure from the Arsenal until the dying hours of the game, where Arteta basically pulled off a masterstroke in substitutions. I wish they had come a bit earlier, but the fact that he actually, went and removed Gabriel, brought on Nicola Pepe, and I think the change. I think the one that actually tweaked it on the formation was moving Cedric Suarez and bring on Eddie Nketiah, because that enabled Arsenal to move their defense to a 3 and then commit more players forward and crowd a bit of the midfield while sustaining pressure on the attacking lines. And that eventually paid off, goals coming in from Nicola Pepe, who I think a lot is mentioned about Lacazette finishing, and but let's not forget that although that goal was chalked off as an own goal, and Lacazette didn't take it, it was a Jose Sa own goal, the Wolves keeper. You do see that the assist was actually from Pepe. So if you sum up Pepe's contribution in this game, Simon, and I will start with you, how pivotal is Pepe going to be for the remainder of the season, considering, like I mentioned, from a striking perspective, it's Laka and Eddie Nketiah as options up there. And of course, you could throw in Martinelli in there, but we're not quite sure. But in Pepe, let's not forget he was actually, I believe he was our leading goal scorer last season in all competitions, Pepe. But he's come back from the African Cup of Nations. The manager singing his praises. We're starting to see it translate on the pitch. Can this guy carry us to 4th position as the Arsenal? Simon?
As an Arsenal man, I would look at Pepe has had a bit of inconsistency, but with his inconsistency, he has been able to make the stats work. If you look at his previous statistics, you come up and you see he's going to be one of the top assist players with less minutes. Sometimes his form will be too bad, but he'll make the goals. He'll take the free kicks. I actually do believe in Pepe. I've always told people, sometimes a player just needs game time. I know now the worst thing that happened to us is we lost out at FA, we lost out at Carabao. So most of these players are not getting game time. Pepe had lost his confidence. I think he had lost his mind at some point. I think he wasn't close enough to the manager. I don't know. Then coming back from the Africa Cup of Nations, it reminds me of Nabri, who was a bit picking up, wouldn't play football. Olympics, did some magic, and weren't able to keep him. I'm just praying and hoping at least I can maybe give him more minutes, because the Pepe I'm seeing for the last 2 games or for this last game, he's a very, very, very good player, and he's going to be very pivotal for us. Because at least I know I'm going to have a goal or I'll have an assist. If I don't have a goal and an assist, I'll have 2 assists, especially towards the end of the season. Pepe becomes clinical at the end of the season. I don't know why.
Keep going.
he gets clinical at the end of the season.
Simon, let's let Manzi make his comment. He's here scoffing at you.
No. Just saying, if you don't have 1 assist, you have 2 assists, man. You say if you don't have 2, you have 1, because you can't have. If you can't have 1, you can't have 2.
No. I'm saying if you can't have an assist and a goal, you'll have 2 assists in the game.
So an assist plus a goal.
Plus a goal.
That's a serious fantasy asset.
And I wish I had him in my fantasy team.
I actually do believe in Pepe. And one thing I've noticed is these competitions, it's a player goes up and he shines in these pre-season, I won't call it pre-season, but mid-season or pre-season competitions. There's a way it boosts their confidence. Now Pepe, if you can look, attitude is very different. He's looking more clinical, because I looked at the touch, the turn, then the pass. It was just too different.
How we wish Marcus Rashford was in this kind of form, and we didn't touch on Marcus Rashford. I mean, you saw how Pepe turned, Manzi. Now Marcus Rashford is turning like a Mercedes trailer, man. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on with his confidence, but we missed that point. But anyway,
that turn was just a lucky turn. Don't make it seem like it was it's like the best turn you've ever seen in football.
Bro, my guy, one of the guys who makes that turn in Man United is Harry Maguire. The only problem is he's always turning the wrong way. But always turning the
You see
wrong way. But
Maguire's defensive tactic where, you know, like when he came a no-look pass, that was a no-look defense. The guy was not looking there. He put his foot and he was going forward, but the body was going backwards.
Those this previous game you guys played. You drew 1-1. Maguire just let the striker move. He didn't even bother moving. I'm like, yo, what is happening? He can't even cut across.
That was
like there's no
Champions
effort.
League.
We have to check the footage and see if that player had like banana fiber on his shirt or something that Maguire was fearing. Right? But anyway, Manzi, your thoughts on Arsenal and their chances for top 4?
Arsenal is just lucky, man. I have a friend who is an Arsenal fan. So this game, your game was a late kickoff, like 11 p.m. Do you know watching Arsenal games? You're on Bunkenke. Now for your fans who are out of Uganda, you're on tension for the whole game until the 95th minute. Man, you can get high blood pressure. You can get a stroke.
Man, you see, we're learning to withstand this tension, and we are now absorbing the shock a lot more. But we welcome Faggy time efforts like this.
We need to put our games much earlier, like at least 80th minute. That should be, you know, as much as your heart can take. But 80, 90, 91, 92, 93, 90.
Man.
So it was,
it's
you
terrible.
guys got lucky. You survived the Dama Traore, who's now in Barcelona. So
man, that guy needed like a whole carton of olive oil first of all to be smeared on his body.
Had he been on the pitch, you guys didn't have one. But those guys switched off. I think they were tired.
Yeah, they're tired. No, but the tactics, I think the tactics were not right from them. It wasn't their usual display. You know, the nick a goal and still sort of put you under some bit of sustained pressure, try and win the midfield. This time they sat back and invited pressure. So, you know, I think they led to their own downfall. They even tried to, time waster. There was a funny part where they were time wasting before Arsenal scored the equalizer. You know, tried to kick the ball out, delay the throw-in. All of a sudden, after Arsenal scored the second goal, guys were playing chap, man, running the ball.
Man, EPL is so unfair. Like it's as in you switch off for 1 second. It's so painful. Like,
and you're punished.
You see a goal and you're like, you're punished for just a lapse in concentration. So you have to always be alert. I feel sorry for the players. You imagine Uganda and you get hurt. Now imagine the guys on the pitch, man.
No, guys, you know, guys in Uganda at such matches, they don't get hurt. If it's live, then everyone picks up stones and starts stoning the referee or something like that. If there's a dubious decision and it's a derby game between the big boys, then there's trouble brewing there.
That City game. I left when it was 0-0. I went and slept. I was like, in the morning, I saw 1-0. I was like, no, what is this? Like
3-2. Me too. That was a shocker.
That's yesterday's game, the day before yesterday, I think.
Oh yes, yesterday. Yes. And we'll actually, you know, I know it's the top 6 fan TV. We focus on the traditional top 6, but we cannot go without mentioning the other contender for top 4 spot, who's flying under the radar even up to now. I still think they need to be respected. David Moyes has done a fantastic job. You can imagine if David Moyes was still at United, you'd probably be winning have won the Champions League and the Premier League.
Actually, Mathew,
with the benefit of hindsight.
What I was talking about is exactly seen in this game. West Ham against
Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Against Wolves.
Thomas Suchek.
They defended so well. It was 0-0. Then I think one defender pushed. I think he blinked. A simple pass from Antonio went across the goal. Suchek, a defender, just tapped it in. I was so sad. I'd watched the whole match. I was supporting Wolves. I just said, man, these guys, you just lapse for 1 second, you get punished, 3 points gone.
Well, Arsenal broke their spirit. I think they need a week to recover. It happens. It's been a tough week.
And their keeper had made like some serious saves, like 3 or 4 saves. They kept
yeah. That victory moving West Ham into 5th, by the way, just above United on 27 games played, 45 points, level with Arsenal, but Arsenal with 3 games in hand. So, you know, that's still up for grabs there. So it would be interesting. I know United have tend to actually draw a lot of those games. So we'll see what games in hand can do for the Arsenal. But moving on to the games for the Champions, keeping up also at the top of the table. That unfolded last weekend. We saw that unfold last weekend. Manzi, your comments on this game? Handball here, drama.
Let Simon go first. I've been speaking too much.
Simon, this man has no gas for the noisy neighbors. But
I feel like the Premier League, the FA is very, very harsh to some teams, especially Arsenal. If we're getting that handball, Shaka, there's a red card, penalty again.
Boys.
That would have been a red
Arsenal
card.
guys.
It's definitely a red card.
Arsenal guys, and they even give our players 3 yellow cards. Three, then they bring 2 red.
Wait, do you see that meme of VAR instead of VAR checking, it's VAR checking badge. When the badge is City, the decision is
nullified.
The decision is red.
Man, I'm telling you.
But guys, VAR has spoiled football. Like what's the purpose of VAR? Like, it's okay in the days before VAR, refs would make mistakes, but you have a ref, an assistant ref, an assistant virtual assistant ref, and still make the wrong decision.
Well, I mean, Manchester City winning this game 1-0, goal coming in from Phil Foden. But was this a handball or was it not a handball, Simon? And what does that mean for the race for the Premier League title? It's no longer guaranteed.
It's no longer guaranteed. At some point, I thought City had gone. I thought no one is going to catch up with City. They had left all of us. They had left Liverpool by 7 or 8 points. I thought they had gone. But now I'm realizing Premier League, as Manzi has said it, you sleep like this, one chance, you're gone. But I feel like the referees are trying to make it easier for City to win the league because some of these decisions are costing the teams. Imagine if Everton had gotten that handball, they would have been a step higher. They would have won the game. Or it would have ended as a draw 1-1. I'm actually thinking we should do away with the VAR because I feel like they're not helping most of the teams. The few teams are benefiting. Then me as an Arsenal fan, I hate VAR because it always gets us on the wrong foot all the time.
VAR. Sometimes when they are reviewing some Arsenal decisions, especially if, like, it's a last bit challenge, Granit Xhaka, edge of the box. The guy's foot is like 5 meters away from the penalty box. Man, those guys, when they're doing the VAR, I think they also use like Photoshop, man. Stretch the guy's leg. That's the box, man. That's Xhaka, man. Then they first do those divider lines.
I never understand those lines.
Yes, guys, man.
I never understood those lines.
And you're like, man, this guy, my architect or my surveyor, what's going on here, man? Where those lines coming in from? But anyways, Manzi, who do you think? Who do you think is taking the title? I mean, Liverpool is resilient right now.
It's definitely,
and we'll get to Liverpool
now.
Really,
even when they're supposed to lose, they win. So, like, as in either they're helping them or they have luck. Teams, a team is going to win when they win games like this 1-0. Like, in the past, they were 5-0, 3-0, 4-0. Anyway, they're playing us next, so expect like 3-0. But a game where they failed to score many goals and it's up to VAR to help them, it just shows you that, maybe they will take it. I don't think Liverpool has what it takes to. They'll get tired. We have 11 games to go, about 10, 11.
Yeah.
So I think City can take 30 points or maybe 27 from those games.
Interesting. And speaking of, Everton, of course, you can see Frank Lampard not happy throughout the game with the decision making. But speaking of Liverpool, they recently won, as recent as yesterday, winning the first trophy up for grabs for the season, the Carabao Cup, going to Liverpool. Pivotal moment here for Chelsea. Fantastic game. Played out goalless draw for regular time, extra time. Some fans, Chelsea fans, saying it's the most interesting draw they've ever watched. So it was really captivating, edge of your seat stuff. But just a few minutes to penalty decisions. Thomas Tuchel bringing on Kepa. I failed to pronounce his name. I will do damage to his surname. But basically, Kepa coming on, And this has worked for them, by the way. I know it didn't work out this time round, but it worked for them in I think the World Club Championships, and I think it's a Super Cup or something like that, as well, where Kepa came in and saved some penalties. So he had become the go-to man for penalties, but it didn't work out this time. As you can see, that ball is still flying somewhere
Over the bar.
along.
Must be in
Yeah,
space.
Over the bar.
that
In
ball
space
is
now.
flying way above, still in space. And after a remarkable 10 penalties on each side, or rather 11 for Liverpool, because Keller did score his spot kick. Kepa, the pressure being too much, and I think probably taking the spot kick just like Timo Werner had showed him how, and way over the bar, and handing the title, the Carabao Cup, to the Reds. You can see what it meant for them there. How significant is this win, Manzi, for Liverpool? And
Speaking
do you think
again
it can push
about
them to the title chase?
yeah, but let me just go back a bit about VAR. I didn't I don't know about you guys, but I didn't understand those decisions of Lukaku. Lukaku was hardly offside. I think it was his toenail that was offside, disallowed.
Good.
Matip's goal
The leg.
disallowed. So the decisions are very shady. And
Mm.
another thing, I don't know why in finals people don't score. Like it's like, do they want to play up to the final minute? Do they want to go for penalties? Because in Premier League, Mount would have scored those goals. They had so many chances
Yeah.
to score. Like they don't want to finish the game in 90 minutes. I think they're like, you know what?
Mm.
People around the world are watching this final. Let's prolong it as much as possible because you failed to score in 90, failed to score in 30, have 11 penalties. Eish, man. If it was
It
a
was
league
quite
game,
something.
yeah, if it was a league game, it would be like 2-1, 3-2, something like that. So, yeah, I
But
think,
I mean, credit where it's due, Manzi. Kudos to the cop, to Liverpool.
I
Fantastic
think
there,
when he
fantastic team. I
lifts
mean,
their spirits, they'll
yeah,
go on to do great things.
great there. But you don't think it will be enough to push them to the Premier League title, as you mentioned
I
before.
think they'll finish second, but let's wait and see.
Great, Simo, as we come to a close, Simon,
I
what are your thoughts on this victory?
actually disagree with Manzi.
Mm,
Looking at the Carabao Cup, if you look at all the previous Carabao Cups Man City has been winning, there's a way it was giving them better attitude, especially the players. You feel like now
mhm.
they want blood, like they want more, and that drew City to almost having a three-peat. Now moving to the Carabao Cup, I think it's going to push Liverpool way harder because I looked at how they were playing yesterday and I loved the
Mm,
football. It was so attacking. Defense was like covering, the gaps were being covered.
mm.
Diaz, fantastic, very very fantastic. I'm looking at my chances are Liverpool to win the trophy because basically I don't
Mhm.
like Pep. I'm tired of him doing it.
You're tired of
I'm
him
tired
winning
of him doing
everything.
it. Yeah, he's winning
Well,
everything,
ladies,
and I
go
don't
ahead.
want him to make the Premier League look like the Bundesliga. So
I
Mm,
hear you.
I have a feeling after this game, Liverpool is going to actually catch up. They're only 3 points behind. City still has
So,
big games, and I
pray
know they're
for
going to
us to
fumble.
beat City. Pray for us to beat
Uh,
City.
they're going to fumble against you guys. I don't know why, but I have a feeling they're going to fumble. Just
Yeah, I
fumble
think
Please
against
I
you
think
don't
guys.
I
hold
think
your
I think
breath,
City is
man.
not winning that as well. I have a feeling
They're
they're
not
not
winning
winning
that.
Manzi,
that.
don't hold
They're
your
not
breath.
winning.
That'd be like 5-0, man. If
But
they
I'm
but
telling
but
you,
but in all fairness, I think even me, I predicted Liverpool to win the Premier League at the beginning of the
Liverpool is
season.
going to
I,
win
I
it.
felt like City was just lacking that inch
that's striker.
that inch of a striker. To I mean,
Like,
you can imagine if Harry Kane was in that team, this league would have been
Way
wrapped up like 2 months ago.
Pogba.
But
Pogba.
yes,
December.
but December, yes. But I mean, it is what it is, as Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal boys do say, and we'll wait to see. I hope Liverpool win the title because to set it up nicely for next season, which is Pep Guardiola's last season, I'm sure he'll be going for every single trophy with the Vegas and the summer transfer business. We reflect that. We have come to the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining, you've missed some fantastic banter, but do feel free to hit the playback button, subscribe, hit the like button, notification bell, hit everything you can see on your screen, and we will be back next week, same time, same place. Do have a good week rest of the week. And
Peace.
take care. Godspeed. Simon, thank you for joining. Manzi, as always, thank you for coming through. And you'll take care. Bye-bye.